Hi guys, wkmescudi here, and today we are checking out the PlayStation history. So here we have all the PlayStations from the original PlayStation 1 to the current PlayStation 4 Pro. So back in the day, we used to have the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 was a very significant console in the market because the PlayStation 1 was one among the first consoles to ever have CD usage. And during this time, it was unbelievable because considering back in the day, you used to have cartridges for games. So PlayStation really changed the game by coming up with a gaming development unit whereby it could use CDs, and it was capable of playing both MP3 discs, audio discs, and also play games. So it was one of the selling points for the PlayStation 1. So the PlayStation 1 was a great console for its time, and I had a very great time playing around with it. The controller for it, you'll notice it had all the current controls that you've ever seen, both the analog and the directional keys and all that. So this, if you ever look at this one, they've never really changed the design of the pads in them. They all have a bit of resemblance from the original PlayStation pad. So over the years, I remember playing Gauntlet Legends. It was one among the best games I ever played for PlayStation. We played it with my brother. It was one of the most addictive games we ever played. I remember waiting hours and hours, both of us playing, and I miss the days when we had two-player games, when both you and your family friend or your brother, you could play a game continuously to the end together, not using online. It was a game, both characters moving through the scenes, and you could do different tasks, fight enemies, and progress continued. And back in the day, it was hard, especially in Kenya, to get games, so you had to go to a physical store and find a game that you want, and probably you won't get the game that you actually think you will find, so you just end up begging your parents to either buy you the game that you feel is best there. Crazy thing, I hope you guys remember about the PlayStation 1. They had very interesting discs. You remember they had on the back there used to be black or either blue. I remember that was like one of the big defining factors about PlayStation 1. Most games you ever found were either black. If you bought an original disc, it was black or blue on the lower side. So I really loved the PlayStation 1. It was a really good introduction into proper gaming and proper graphics of games. It had a very big impact that led to the other generations of the consoles. Here we have the PlayStation 2, which I consider one of the best consoles, whereby it was sold during a period where it was the cheapest console you could buy, and the games that it had were very readily available. And I think almost most people I know started playing video games on the PlayStation 2. And the PlayStation 2 is, I would say, was a very good step up from the previous. So there were so many games that came out from the PlayStation 2. I remember the first time we turned on this particular PlayStation, the first game we played with my brother was Tekken 3. So when we played Tekken 3 with my brother, the most interesting thing, we had to like prove to each other like, hey man, I'm the boss, man. So when we were fighting, we ended up having a double KO. We were like, first game, first time taking this console on, and the first thing it gives us is a double KO. I was like, yeah, we're matched. We're worthy competitors to each other. So if you look at the PlayStation 2 pad, it looks similar to the PlayStation 1 pad, but what they added more motors inside, so it rumbled more. You had more rumble in it. Also, it had the analog was more improved, and so many other small details were improved in this part. Okay. So, for me, the PlayStation 2, I don't know, I played so many games. I'll put a list in the description of all the games I ever played on the PlayStation 2. Also, the best game I'll ever talk about is this, God of War. And interesting enough, I had two God of War. The reason was this was a game that took me by storm. I couldn't believe playing this game. As in, yes, I wasn't old enough to play this game, but the graphics, the intensity of the game, how hard the part, as in, it was one of the games like I ever played. I was like, damn, that's a hard game. And it really, you had to strategize on what to do. You had crazy puzzles. I remember there was one puzzle that it took us so long to figure out. Then one day my sister was like, so you do this and this. Then we were like, oh shit. So it was interesting. As in, I think PlayStation really put us together. We had something we could all of us talk about and also do together as children. I felt like PlayStation was a good place for us, and we did a lot with it. I also had Over the Hedge. I really loved this game, and also the movie was great. So this game was very interesting. I loved playing as Hammy and Stella. So this was great. I don't know if most people remember, there was this thing called a memory card. This was like everything. You could own a console, but if you didn't have this, it was all about playing a game, you restart it every day, because if you turn it off, you couldn't save. So you had to buy a memory card. And the memory card was, I don't know why they were ever sold separately. I think it was a way to earn more money, but it was rare to find this. And it was, I don't remember how much we used to pay for it. I think back in the day, even it went up to figures of 3,000 just for a memory card. And imagine this is 8 megabytes. I was like, what? 8 megabytes for 3,000? Okay, it's crazy. And this, I'll say PlayStation 2 was great for me. I enjoyed so many aspects of it. I played so many games, and I think it's still been sold around Kenya, and I feel it has one of the biggest impacts ever. So this is the PlayStation 3, and it was quite huge and heavy, as you can see. So the PlayStation 3 was like a big step up from the PlayStation 2, whereby it came with an internal hard drive. It could do Blu-ray, it had HDMI, it had internet connection, it had so many options. And personally, I never owned a PlayStation 3. I got this just to do this review. But this PlayStation 3 was like, when the first time I ever went to look at it, I remember the first time when it came out, it was being sold at, I remember it was Nakma Junction. I went to check out Nakma Junction. When I got there, I was like, what's the price tag? I remember I was with my dad and I asked him, hey dad, could you buy me a PlayStation? I was like, okay, let's go see it. Then he saw the price tag, he's like, whoa, 80,000. Then he's like, does it come with a TV? He's like, no, it's just the console. He's like, ooh, that's a lot of money. But I think PlayStation did try a lot to improve this console, and they put so much. I think this is one of the consoles that has so many things inside it, and it had a lot of potential, and it was like a big step up for them. They really wanted to change the gaming industry completely, but the price that it demanded for, I think most people shied off from it, considering most people really loved the PlayStation 2. And one big marketing factor for the PlayStation 3, this original one, was able to play both PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 games. So most people considered buying this so that you could also play your old PlayStation 2 games. And most people really had so many PlayStation 2 games. Also, it had an internal hard drive. I think I really like the idea that they stopped selling separate memory sticks, memory cards even, just to save a game. So you could save all the information into the PlayStation 3. And they also improved so many aspects of the user interface and how people interacted with the games, or so many other features. And another interesting thing, they also made the pad wireless. As you can see, all the rest were wired pads. This was the first pad to come in a wireless feature, whereby you just connected on the rear USB port so that you could charge it. And it had indicators here at the back, 1 to 4, at least to show you which character you are in the game. Maybe you're playing FIFA, so you could know if you're player 1, 2, or 0, 4. And it was a great improvement. Most people complain that this wasn't so nice, but I would say this was a very good console. Okay. Now we turn to the big boy in town. This is the PlayStation Pro. The PlayStation Pro now does 4K. If you don't know what 4K is, it is 4 times 1080p. So that is some hell of a graphic. And now we have the new controller, the PlayStation 4 Pro controller. It has both indicators on the upper side and up here, and it has improved thumbstick, it has motion control, it has sensors. I think PlayStation really goes for the player's experience, whereby I think they want the player to have all the power in their hand, whereby you have so many configurations, whereby if a game developer wanted to make a certain game that needed to use gyroscopes, and so they could. Also, the PlayStation 3 controller had gyroscopes, whereby if you played a game that was a racing game, you could either tilt your pad at least to an angle, and the car would tilt slightly. Okay? And I don't know, the PlayStation generally is a great platform, and I've grown to love the PlayStation for years and years. But over the years, the things that PlayStation has done that I haven't personally loved because right now, if you remember, the PlayStation 4 right now can't play the PlayStation 3, but only through a subscription, of which it's a bit shaky. For me, I wish they took all the features of all these consoles and pushed it to this. This is one of the most powerful console, and it's limited to its potential due to what it offers. Because right now, all these games, all these other consoles, you could either buy a physical disc, go home, start a game, you're off. But currently with the PlayStation, you either buy a game, and most games, let's say like Destiny, and currently the Destiny 2 is out, so you realize like you need internet full time at least to play a game. And that wasn't the case for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 1. So right now it's a bit, it's improved, because then now you want to play with more players, you want to play with more people online, you want to play with somebody in the US, you want to play with somebody in the UK or somebody in Australia. You can, because right now we are all connected, we're in an all connected world. But I feel we need more of the old games. And PlayStation has really grown. We have also PlayStation VR. For the PlayStation 4, I currently have Shadow of Mordor, Street Fighter, Need for Speed, Destiny, Mortal Kombat X, Mirror's Edge, Ratchet and Clank, Need for Speed Rivals, and The Division. So tell me which game you also play on PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 3, I played God of War 3, which was a great continuation from God of War 2, where it was a continuation of the story about Kratos and fighting his father, Zeus, and all that. So I continued the game from PlayStation 2 and moved it to PlayStation 3, and also I played the same game, God of War 3, on the PlayStation 4 remastered version. Yeah, so PlayStation has had a good development over the years, and I feel PlayStation has had a good footing in our country, Kenya, where I think most people play PlayStation. There's also Xbox, but most people do play PlayStation. And at times people ask me what type of games I love playing. I love any game that is strategic, or any shooter game, first-person shooter game. I definitely like a racing game, any fantasy game at times. Okay, I don't play FIFA because personally I don't. It's how I was brought up. Personally, I don't understand football well. I also was an anti-sport kid, so FIFA has never been one of the games that I really played. But I did FIFA Street. If you remember FIFA Street, that was a good one. I liked because it was a smaller court, smaller team, and there was so many moves you could do. It was the best. Yeah. So all these PlayStation that are here, I feel like we've moved quite significantly. Imagine from an era of CD to DVD, Blu-ray, and now Blu-ray capable of doing 4K. This the PlayStation 3 could do 1080. I think PlayStation 2 could do 720p, and this one could do a lower frame rate than that. So we have really, you see, this is a generation of technology improving over the years. You go from a wired pad, now you go to a Bluetooth connection to a console. Then later you move to a better console, better connectivity, and that's it. And I feel PlayStation has really grown, and it's grown in us. And most people who ever bought a PlayStation always got stuck to a PlayStation, and that's nice. And I feel we really need to acknowledge ourselves as gamers. At times people may say that gaming is stupid or gaming is a waste of time, but it's something that grew in us. As in, we never played these games because we wasted time. We wanted to share something with our friends. We wanted to have fun with our friends. And during a technology world, how best could you enjoy something? It was through technology and having an experience that you could always remember with your friends. Even right now, most people even buying a PlayStation 4 or 4 Pro have a deep connection to gaming, because you either back in the day you ever went to a gaming house or a gaming arcade somewhere in your hometown or even your home street. At least you got a gaming place whereby you could pay. I remember back in the day, PlayStation 1 used to be charged $1 per minute. So they used to put TV off timer, so they put like you paid $10, so you put sleep timer off 10 minutes. So once the screen goes off, your time is out. Okay, so we've moved a long way, and I feel I loved the first game I ever fell in love on the PlayStation was GTA. I played the GTA Vice City. I played to the current GTA 5, which I have here. So I loved all these games. So as you can see, like, it's something you start off doing, then later you fall in love with something, then you keep on perpetuating and moving forward to what you really love. Okay, I really love that games have really improved, and over the years some of the titles like Crash Bandicoot, which was originally for the PlayStation 1, is now available for the PlayStation 4 Pro. So right now it's like we're bringing up more gamers. I like that there are more gamers. I like the interaction, like we have more people playing video games. It's not that video games are bad. Video games are really good. I find it as a good leisure. At least most people are engaged in so many things. So PlayStation has really grown, and I like that even the small details like a pad has grown over the years to incorporate all the new technologies, that are out there, from moving from wired controllers to wireless controller, or Bluetooth to improve Bluetooth efficiency, better battery life, and so many other things. So the console has evolved over the years, and I expect it not to stop. It's a continuous motion, and I like it. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you for taking your time for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe. If you also loved it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. And kindly tell me what console you have or which console you played with. Thank you.